This week, West Red Lake Gold announced the start of a new drill program at the Rowan Project. Rowan is home to a really nice high-grade deposit. We own the Rowan Project, and it's about 30 kilometers away from our Madsen Mine. Now, it's just a drill program, but for us it's pretty exciting, and here's why. So the Madsen Mine is ramping up nicely. October has gone well, and we look forward to continuing that trend in November as we get the last pieces of the puzzle in place. We get the shaft operational, we take delivery of the last few pieces of major equipment, and we just get this wrapped up, so to speak. So we are comfortable that Madsen will operate in 2026 as the high-grade mine that we have planned, and that mine will deliver something like 50,000 ounces of gold per year. Now, West Red Lake's goal as a company has always been to grow rapidly as a gold producer in this gold market. Going from 0 to 50,000 ounces is a great start, but we are already looking ahead to make that more. And so that is why, when we had just started up the Madsen Mine in the middle of summer, we completed and issued a preliminary economic assessment on our other project, on Rowan, in July. That initial mine plan, that PEA, showed Rowan could be turned into a mine producing 32,500 ounces of gold annually, and it could be done for a capital cost of $70 million, and it would tap a really high-grade deposit. The indicated resource at Rowan averages 12.8 grams per ton gold. This is a very nice deposit, and we see lots of opportunity to grow that deposit. So that PEA really outlined an attractive starting point, and motivated us to get this thing into production as soon as we can. Now, let's talk about the timeline for that. Given that we have almost 3 years of baseline environmental data collected at Rowan, given that we're not planning a mill or a tailings facility at Rowan, this is just a mine, a camp, a water treatment plant, the associated equipment, and given that we're in a province that's specifically focused right now on speeding up mine permitting timelines, we think, assuming studies and permits all go the way that we expect, that we could start developing the underground at Rowan in 2027 and have that project in production in 2028. Okay, well, what does 2028 look like? Well, by then, Madsen will be getting to depth, where the ounces of gold per vertical meter are quite a bit higher. We get down past a bunch of the remnant mining and we get into the good stuff, so to speak, and where we're getting close to the uber high-grade 8 zone, which is the sort of prize that we currently know about at depth. So adding 32,000 ounces of gold annually from the Rowan mine in that context, on top of what we have going on at Madsen in 2028, that lays a path for West Red Lake Gold to be producing 90 to 100,000 ounces of gold a year in 2028, which is only a few years out. Now, that's the kind of production growth, from 50 to 90 or 100,000 ounces in a few years. That's the kind of production growth that can really grab investors' attention in a rising gold market. And so keeping Rowan on that timeline is an important goal for us. So that's what this new drill program is about. That's why we're doing it. That's why it's important. We're going to try to do 3 things with this drill program. The first is that we will infill drill the parts of the resource that are currently in inferred category, those that contribute right now about 1/3 of the ounces that are in the PEA mine plan. And the goal, of course, is to upgrade those inferred ounces to indicated status so that they can be included in a pre-feasibility mine plan. And a pre-feasibility, being the next level of engineering, requires all of your resource to be at that indicated, measured or indicated category of confidence. The second thing that we will do with this drill program is that we will drill 2 veins called 6B and 13 that did not make it into the mine plan. And the reason they didn't make it in is because they are informed by primarily historic drill holes that were really sparsely assayed. Just bits of the hole were assayed, not the entire core. Now, if with some additional holes we can show that the mineralization in those 2 veins is more consistent than those sparse assays show, those veins could potentially be included in the next version of the mine plan, in the PFS. And if that were to happen, it could certainly lengthen the mine life, just bringing more resource into the plan, and it could reduce the amount of pre-production development that we need, because that's just the way that this thing's laid out. Those 2 veins sit between the planned portal and where the rest of the mine is. So they're just in an efficient location in terms of development. So that's the second goal, is to convert those 2 veins that didn't make it into the mine plan. And then the third goal is to just collect some more rock material so that we can do the next round of metallurgical work. Again, something that we need to do to inform this pre-feasibility study. All of this will feed into that study, which, it's important to understand, is planned as a joint study for Madsen and Rowan. Now, the goal of this joint study will be to outline how tons mined at Rowan could be processed at Madsen. Now, for context, the mill at Madsen already has the tonnage capacity to handle those additional tons from Rowan, about 400 tons per day from Rowan. But we would need to increase the permitted throughput at Madsen, and that would require an approved permit for new tailings and water management. So those are the pieces that are in play as we try to create this integrated plan and then permit it and put it into action. So Rowan is exciting. We see a clear path for this high-grade deposit to add pretty notably to our production profile, and to do so in just a few years. And importantly, we see really good potential to find more at Rowan. The best intercept from that whole deposit is almost right at the bottom of the zone. We have targets right around the edges that haven't been drilled. We have targets along strike. This thing is primarily limited by drilling, not by geology. But we are not a company that explores only to grow a resource. We explore when that exploration has the potential to enhance something that's close to or in production. That's, of course, what we do at Madsen. That remains our plan at Rowan. So let's get Rowan, let's keep progressing Rowan down this path towards production, so that then we have the opportunity to see what else we can find and unlock around this exceptionally high-grade Red Lake deposit.